All right, microphone check 1 2. What is this? It's the Denim Heads podcast, right before Christmas.
Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how you start.
That's how you start a podcast. I'm kind of intimidated right now. I have to follow up to this.
That's okay. So I'm Pasha.
I'm Darius.
And welcome to the first episode of Denim Heads, the Denim Heads. Why did we do this, Darius?
Why?
It's a lot of questions. Why? How?
Yeah, so many questions. Okay, why? There's a mutual interest in denim, definitely. I think if we only go back to, let's say, 2 years ago, or 1 year ago, 2 years ago. First of all, let's tell everybody that we communicate a lot via WhatsApp audio. We send each other audios multiple times a day talking about cars, music, cigars, denim, what else? Watches, and just life in general. But recently, everything's been leading to denim. Progressively, it's been becoming really 90% denim talk and 10% life, pandemic, and the rest.
Et cetera, et cetera.
Et cetera. So basically, this mutual interest in denim, when the pandemic started, we found ourselves having more time to exchange and talk about this. And I guess we just thought that, why not just
put it on the wax.
Put it on wax, exactly. So that's what we're doing now. And there's a love for denim. There's a big interest in the podcast world, obviously. So it was only right that we give it a try, basically. And since we do it this way this time, let's go back also, and maybe would you like to let us know how it all started for you, this interest for denim?
Yeah, I think I've always loved jeans and denim. It goes all the way back to like the third grade, where I saw crisscross jump video, and they were wearing their jeans backwards. I went to school the next day. It lasted about 40 minutes. I got my pants. I had my pants on backwards for 40 minutes, and then the teacher took me into the bathroom, pinched my ear, and told me I had to put my pants on the correct way. And so that was that. And then the following year, the following year or two, I remember going to Canal Street in Chinatown, New York City, trying to pick up some Carl Kanai purple jeans, because that was the in thing. And Fubu a little later on, and Boss. Yep. And it was an interesting journey. Fast forward to about a year ago, chatting with you and talking about high denim and sort of a brand out in Wales.
Yep.
And how it's something that they do exclusively. What is their...
Do one thing well.
Exactly. So, and that was their one thing. So
yeah,
I joined the No Wash Club. I picked up a pair. Joined the No Wash Club. Went for about 9 months without washing raw denim, which was like cardboard.
Yes.
Hard as heck. Now we're here. I mean, we figured listening to some of these denim-centric podcasts, it's a little intimidating. And, there's an abundance of information out there, and it could be a little daunting, I think.
Yes.
But I think you and I sort of started the journey together at the ground, zero, at rock bottom. And while we're nowhere near what could we say? We know we're only scratching the surface at this point.
Yes,
We
really.
thought it's a good idea to maybe record this and make this like sort of an inviting, safe space for other potential denim heads to sort of congregate and kind of follow along.
Yes, definitely. And this is in no way a knock to existing podcasts because you might have said it. This is, by the way, I think we have to be very honest and give full disclosure. This is the third time we're recording this. So we might have said it in another on the previous versions, but we've been listening to some of these podcasts and they've been really inspiring. They've helped me, they've helped you also, I guess, to increase the knowledge. But it's true that sometimes we felt a little bit intimidated because some of these guys have been in this hobby, this passion, this business for some of them for so long that there's a vocabulary, there's a way of talking about it that, we're not there yet. So I think it's really interesting for us to create this space, as you said. But yeah, I think it's a nice experience, and maybe I will just also give a quick go back.
Yeah,
also.
What was how did your journey start? How did you get to this point, wanting to record a podcast about denim in the middle of the week? Mm-hmm.
In the middle of the week, definitely. So it also started maybe around the same time as you, crisscross. I wasn't brave enough to go to school and wear jeans backwards, but I was definitely there when people were wearing those super baggy jeans, the FUBUs, the Carcanais, and everything. So that's how I got into it. I didn't know at the time, but of course, I always kept an interest in jeans and stuff like this. Then it was brands like Diesel or Seven for All Mankind, that type of stuff. And fast forward to maybe 10 years ago, 11 years ago, no more actually, maybe 15 years ago, and I saw this picture of Kanye West wearing a super dark blue jeans that looked kind of different, and the caption said Kanye West going into the APC store in Paris. So from at that time I was like, okay, I need to know more about this. I need to investigate because first of all, it's Kanye West. It was an era of Kanye West that we can all agree that was Kanye's best era, maybe musically speaking. So I had to dig into this APC thing, and that was also at the time where I came to visit you in New York, and we went to that store on Mercer Street.
Yeah, APC. Yeah,
APC, and so that's how I discovered. That's the first time I discovered raw denim, how uncomfortable it is, how much of a challenge it is to break in those jeans, especially APC. Actually, even now, knowing all the other brands that I know of, but APC is still amongst one of the hardest denim that I've come across. But at the time,
do we know the weight actually?
No, I don't even know, to be honest.
That's now a thing where we need to know the weight of how many ounces is it. It feels like it's probably like in that 18 to 20 range.
I'm not, I'm not even sure. It's just the fabric felt so hard, but I'm not sure it was that heavy for some reason. I don't know. I'll check. We definitely have to check that. It was just the cut was obviously super tight, and at the time, whenever you would look into that type of jeans, everywhere I read about it, and even on the APC website, they would tell you have to buy at least one size smaller from what you usually wear. So buying one size smaller would make them super uncomfortable, super tight, and it was a challenge at the time. But I was motivated. It was real, I committed to one pair at least and could break them in. You still have yours, if I recall.
Correct. I actually ended up purchasing because of how passionate you were. And I'm like, man, this guy is coming from Switzerland and all he keeps talking about is this pair of jeans. Must be something about them. So I
Yep.
ended up picking up a pair, and yeah, I got them 8 years ago in 2012. Uh, and I still have them, yeah, and they're a workhorse pair of jeans.
Yeah, definitely. I I didn't care at the time, so I got rid of them when I really couldn't wear them anymore because, I basically probably got bigger. But I wish I'd kept them just for the sake of, having them because I'm
Yeah,
definitely
it's a
buying
relic of
now in a
sorts.
different way. Yeah, it's a relic, definitely.
It's one of the first, high end pairs of denim
Oh,
one
yes.
can get.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So that's how it started. And fast forward again a few years after that, and it's, 2020, 2019, 2020, and I came across Hyatt's also. That's by browsing on Instagram, basically, looking at different brands, different accounts talking about brands that I really had no idea of, talking about secret denim and stuff like this. I had no idea what it was. All those different cuts, those different fabrics, 13 ounces, 18 ounces, relaxed, tapered, tight tapered. I had no idea this whole thing. It was kind of, daunting because I had no idea what it was. And I was just looking, I wanted to get back into the raw denim thing, but I needed something that was slimmer than what you can usually find in those brands. And that's how I came across Hyatt's, this little brand from Wales. And I have actually, in one of those podcasts that I listened to, I have heard that the brand is producing those denim in a factory that was at the time used to produce jeans for Marks and Spencer, if I'm not
Is that right?
mistaken. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So, and there's a whole story behind the brand. We will talk about it later on, but yeah, it's an interesting story. So that's how I got back into raw denim, and that's at this time I also told you about it. So we both ordered one and joined the No Wash Club. An interesting experience.
I think it's mostly another reason was because of the pandemic. Now, of course, there
Yes.
was a lot of bad that came with it, but with good, I guess it was time, and it changed the shopping experience too because you really couldn't go into stores, and you ended up relying upon like just basically information that's posted up on these websites, these shopping websites, and you're looking at what's the one Denimio?
The
Is
Nimio,
that
yeah.
yeah that one? There's
Okayama.
Okayama Denim or something like that. OD, I think they call it. Yeah, and then we ended up having to purchase and we ended up seeing that you have to really pay attention to the measuring guide, the
Yes.
size charts
The size
because
chart. Oof.
what you might be a 32 in one brand or not even a 32 in one particular cut, you're not a 32 in it doesn't translate to the
Yep.
same sizing,
Yep.
which is a very weird thing. But I guess it really it's interesting because it just shows how almost unique each piece of denim, because it's a one of one in many ways. It's not a cookie cutter approach, and I think it goes to show how unique each piece is and how how much care is as it's
Definitely.
handmade. There's a level of human error as close to perfection as they make it. There is still a little bit of human error, and
Yep.
it's actually those little misses, let's call it,
Yeah.
which are kind of make it even cooler
Oh, it
and
makes it
special.
super interesting. And I mean, you're right. The level of details and the fact that it's all handmade, there's a word I'm looking for right now that I can't find.
Bespoke.
Bespoke, and I wanted to say handcraft. No,
Yeah, I mean,
the
there is that. It really it starts off by hand, and then you have these raw pairs of denim, and that fade pattern is unique to you, and so just as
definitely.
well, it just truly becomes a way to become more of an individual, I guess, and that's
Yes.
another problem. I think speaking in a grander tone, it's just like how does one become an individual these days, and with
Yes.
everything
I
starting to
I've read and heard something.
homogenous.
Yeah, totally. I've read this thing, or maybe I heard it somewhere. I don't want to take credit for that, but I've heard somebody say that those denim, raw denim, and everything, the fades. It's interesting because you're supposed to wear them basically all the time, and what it does is it records your life. Basically, those fades are witnesses of the joys of life, the moments you live with
Battle
them,
scars.
the
They're
battle
like battle
scars.
scars.
Exactly. So, and it's something that's becoming a little bit more rare every day in this era of buying quick, consuming, throwing stuff away. Those goods, the craftsmanship that goes into these jeans, it's a testament to a certain lifestyle and attention to detail and everything. So yeah, it's definitely something special.
And I think that's another thing that a lot of us, both of us, I should say, and maybe a lot of the listeners will sort of resonate with, is the idea of, there is still some finer things like I think it just makes, it makes sense that a lot of us would sort of identify with something that's so niche.
Yeah,
And there's so many intricacies within denim and the denim industry, I should say, and so many it's nice, the level of care and detail and such that people
definitely.
care.
Yeah. What can people expect from this podcast?
Well, I think just the trials and tribulations
Yeah,
of navigating through the denim, our love of denim, especially in this point in time in history. I think when we see new drops and cuts and such, we'll certainly try to comment on them.
yes. I think also we will try and explain a few things that we found out about, or that we researched ourselves. I know when we recorded this earlier, we talked about the Osaka 5. When I started reading stuff about raw denim online, you come across different blogs, different pages, different people doing pictures, doing reviews, doing all kind of stuff, and you hear about Osaka 5, you hear about the Japanese brands, the American brands, how it all started and everything. So I guess sometimes we'll also do a bit of research ourselves and try to I don't want to say try to simplify, but try to explain stuff, some important points, some important things that happen within this industry, and how it became what it is now. I think we will try and sometimes develop those and do maybe some type of review. We have a few pairs ourselves. We can always talk about that. Although this is so personal, it's hard to tell, other people, I like this because this is how it feels. But, sizing is different for everybody. So this is more complicated. But as you said, different drops. Something we learned pretty quickly is that these brands do a lot of collaborations with different shops on different markets. So
Yeah,
there are a lot of different
markets,
models.
different shops, different movie houses. There's like a Batman collaboration with
Yeah.
like Batman and Harley Quinn and Bane
Yeah.
with another denim brand. sort of. There's that. There's, I don't know. I want to say that we're certainly not planning or hoping to become a resource for other people. We're just going to sort of let the content will navigate us as opposed to us navigating and directing the content. I think the content is denim, and we'll see where that takes us. And that's what this is going to be, just sort of like an exploration through things. And, if we notice in one podcast there's something that the two of us have an interest in, I think that will probably dictate what's the next episode. And that is, for example, I think for us, we're thinking to do a deeper dive into who and what is the Osaka Five. Just to, again, I don't think either one of us is planning on, diving into the denim industry to, close up our day jobs, finish up our day jobs and go.
Not yet. No, of course. I think it's just a nice way for us to, as you said, we're just going to document the way we navigate through this hobby, this rabbit hole that became a hobby, basically. And basically, why you asked this question before, but why a podcast? I just think it's an amazing way to create content. And to be very, very honest, it was something that personally I wanted to try once, creating content via voice and via podcasting. I think it's an interesting way to do it. You have a lot of course, YouTube channels, Instagram accounts, so many people doing podcasts too. And then, I thought it was a nice way for us to try and see and document all those discussions, those messages, those pictures we exchange about denim. I think it fits.
I think so. I think, we've noticed in our very brief encounters with people in the denim world, let's say, they've all been extremely welcoming, and certainly have an abundance of information and very happy to share it. So, for example, I don't know if you can hear my Saint Bernard snoring in the background, 200 pounds with his deviated septum. I think we've just sort of, why is because there's a lot to talk about, and I think it's kind of nice to sort of chit chat about this. We've seen how a lot of our conversations over the past year or so almost always seem to end up talking about denim. So we figured, why not make something a little bit more formal and official. And also just invite other people to chit chat with us. We're hoping to have a conversation. So for those that are listening, you can always email us at thedenimheads@gmail.com. Thedenimheads, plural, at gmail.com. We welcome any feedback, questions, comments, anything.
We're open to discussion, and I will also take this occasion to mention my IG account. So I've created a little page dedicated to denim. So people can also find us there. It's called Obviously Blue. So that's obviously _blue. And that's where you can find us for now on IG. I feel
like you should have changed that to obviously _indigo, because that's a lot more appropriate.
Nice.
Yeah.
I wanted the word blue somehow. Indigo is,
It's much more.
We'll see. It's easy to change. And I have for now 70 followers. So, it's...
Do you really?
Yeah.
Wow. Low key. I didn't even expect that.
You see? Impressive, right?
70 followers. You're not following 70. 70 people are following you.
Yes.
That's impressive. Given that you just put it together and
Yes.
it's
And
so low key.
exactly. It's anonymous, and I've posted 3 pictures up until now.
Really,
So,
I knew two. Okay, so you got
oh
a third
yeah,
one in
you
there.
haven't seen the last one.
No,
It's a nice. I'll send it to you.
cool.
It's a nice one. Um, yeah.
And I guess on that note, we'll
I guess on that note, I guess we can wrap it up.
yeah, until maybe the next episode. Or
Yes,
likely the
definitely.
next recording, which will probably be in another hour or two, because we forgot to record this one.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not.
Okay.
I'm gonna
enough.
check. If something went wrong, I'm gonna go right to sleep.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you everybody for listening to this first episode, and we'll see you very soon.
Yeah. Take care,
Okay.
everyone.
Take care. Stay safe.